Hello everybody, MrCamoGaming here, bringing you guys another Black Ops 3 video. In today's video we're going to be discussing something that has been brought up from the COD community just recently. It's just been popped up out of nowhere, and that is the supply drop and COD points problem that everyone's having all of a sudden, the problem that people have with COD points. And today we're going to be discussing why people have this problem, what the problem exactly is, the solutions to the problem, and then what I think about this entire situation. So all we need to do to realise that there is an issue here is search in YouTube supply drop problems, and we currently have the supply drop problem, we have how to fix supply drops, we have Activision biggest problem, supply drop statistics and probabilities, are supply drops ruining Black Ops 3, are supply drops in Black Ops 3 bad, supply drop problems, and then of course we have our usual epic supply drop openings with Allier, and also there's many other supply drop opening videos when you search for that, because of course that is a very popular YouTube trend. We'll be talking about that a bit later on though. So if you don't know how the situation is currently, basically there are two different supply drops you can buy. There are common supply drops, which can only be bought with crypto keys. They cost 10 crypto keys, and crypto keys can be earned in the game just by playing. You play the game, you'll get 2 or 3 crypto keys each game, and then you can buy a supply drop once you have enough money. And supply drops contain stuff like cosmetic items, they have stuff like decals, emblems, and we'll get onto what they contain a bit later on when we talk about the issues that the community has with them. The second supply drop you can buy is a rare supply drop. These cost 30 crypto keys, so they're a lot more expensive, but they have a better chance to give you rare, legendary, and epic items, which are of course better than common items. But the issue, this is where the issue begins, is that you can also buy them with 200 COD points. You can buy one for 200 COD points, and basically COD points are a currency that was added by Treyarch or Activision, and they allow you to buy supply drops and liquid divinium with real money. And I believe it's $2 for one rare supply drop, or for 200 COD points. And this is quite expensive in my opinion, but this is where we begin to get the problem. And now I'm going to explain what the main problem the community has with this is. So at first, when COD points were introduced, everyone was okay with it because supply drops only contain cosmetic items. So this is stuff like suits for your specialist, decals, emblems, weapon camos, stuff like that. It wasn't that big of a deal because if you wanted to, you could buy them, and if you didn't want to, it was okay because there was no real disadvantage to not buying rare supply drops. Then it got slightly more edgy and risky for Activision and Treyarch. They added in melee weapons, which is basically, that's okay if you think about it, because there's already a melee weapon in the game. It's a combat knife, and these weapons function the exact same as a combat knife do. It's a one-hit melee kill. And this is stuff like the butterfly knife, the wrench, the sword, the malice dagger, the carver knife, the MVP baseball bat, stuff like that. Melee weapons that are one-hit kill, just like the combat knife, and it doesn't matter if you buy these or not, because you already have a melee weapon, and so if you don't, basically buying them only gives you a cosmetic change to the melee weapon, whereas stuff like we're going to talk about soon isn't really a cosmetic change. So now this is where the problem began, is when they started adding actual weapons. So at first they only added 3 weapons, now we have 5. The 5 weapons that we have is the MX Garand assault rifle, the Marshall 16 pistol, the NX Shadow Claw crossbow, which is a special weapon, we have the HG40 SMG, and we also have the RSA Interdiction Sniper Rifle. So these are 5 very different weapons that are, in my opinion anyways, are very different to the weapons that came with the base game. And the only way you can get these weapons is through the rare supply drop system, or through the supply drop system. And this, as you can see, this is where the problem is that if you think about it, it is a lot easier to get these weapons, which could be overpowered in some people's eyes. I'll get into my opinion later on. I'll stop giving my opinion now. You can easily get them by paying money. You can get them a lot quicker if you pay real money and buy COD points. Then you can open just a crap ton of rare supply drops. It's a lot easier to pay real money than to actually earn it through the game, because as I said, you get about 2 or 3 crypto keys each game, and it's 30 crypto keys for one rare supply drop. So that's about 10 games, 10-15 games before you're actually going to get even one supply drop, whereas you could just pay $10, $20, $30 and then you have about like 10 or 20 rare supply drops in your bag. And that's the problem that people have, is that you can get weapons in these supply drops that may be overpowered, may also not be overpowered, and they are essentially ruining the game because it is a lot easier to just pay real money, a ton of real money, and get these weapons than it is to just, earn them through the game. 10 or 15 games, get one rare supply drop, because your chances are going to be greater the more supply drops you have. Another thing that I mentioned slightly is the fact that there is no other way to earn these weapons. You can't earn these weapons by leveling up or getting to Master Prestige 1000 or anything like that. The only way to get these weapons is through supply drops. So no matter how good you are at the game, you will not receive these guns unless you get lucky with supply drops, which is another problem the community has, because there's literally no other way you can do it. You can't buy these weapons separately. The only way to get them is through gambling and good luck. That's the only way that you can get these guns. And that is not a good system, because people are saying that it's promoting gambling to children, which, in my opinion, is a little bit bizarre, taking it a little bit too far there. But it's true that this is a problem, and now we're going to discuss some of the solutions that Treyarch and Activision could implement to fix this kind of issue that the community is having. One solution that could be done for this issue that people are having is that they could add in weapon supply drops. So just talking about it theoretically here, these are supply drops that would cost maybe 150, 200 crypto keys, something along those lines, very expensive with crypto keys. And maybe COD points as well you can buy them with. It doesn't really matter there, because there's only about, of course there'll be more weapons by the end of it, but there's about 15 weapons-ish. And this would help a lot, because it means that you are guaranteed to get a weapon. This would solve the issue of not being guaranteed to get a weapon. There's no other way to earn the weapon, because you can guarantee yourself a weapon with this method. Now, whether they would also make it so it was a weapon you don't already have from supply drops may or may not influence the amount of positivity that would come from a change like that. Because let's say you open one and you get a baseball bat, and then you save up again and get another baseball bat, for example, you're not going to be very happy, are you, for saving up all them crypto keys and getting the exact same weapons. So this could be fiddled around with and changed if it needed to be, but a weapon supply drop is a very viable solution. The second solution that Activision or Treyarch could take to solve this issue is to simply just put the weapons up for sale at like a price of, I don't know, however much they want to put it up for sale for. Like maximum I would say of like $5, I don't know. Probably it'll be more expensive than that because we're talking about Activision here, but I'm not going to go into that right now. And this would be a solution, of course, because you're guaranteed to get the weapon for your money, so people who pay for COD points aren't going to be complaining that, we're not getting what we want with our money, because they will be getting what they want with their money, because, well, yeah, you guys get the point. So basically putting the weapons up for sale just on their own, without supply drops, is another really good solution, and in my opinion is probably the best route. If they still wanted to make money, it would be the best route to take. Or maybe one day they'll just release the weapon to everyone for free, I don't know, but that seems like an even worse idea. But that's another possible solution, is simply releasing the weapons onto the PlayStation Store, Xbox Live Market, Steam Market, just so you can buy them and you're guaranteed to get them. Another thing that you guys can do about it if you really want is simply not buy COD points. It's a very simple solution, and the reason for this is because in every single video this has been mentioned, and they always bring it up like they won't listen to our, what was it? They don't listen to our feedback and suggestions, but they'll listen to our wallets. It's like, it's a good way, it's a good point, that's the point I'm literally about to make, but you could have not put it differently. It's like, they can take our feedback and our suggestions, but not our wallets. It's weird. Basically, if you don't like the COD points system, don't buy COD points, because Activision, of course, if people say they're money whores, for example, then they're going to listen to their money. If they're not going to listen to feedback and suggestions, the amount of income they're making, their stocks or whatever, they're going to listen to their profit that they're earning. And so if they earn less profit in 1 month, for example, they're going to think, oh, something bad is really happening here, and then they're going to change their system or whatever so that it's more, I was about to say more better, so that it's better for the community and what the community wants, basically. So if you don't like COD points, don't buy them with your money, but if you do like them, then, well, there's nothing I can really do about that. But basically, in my opinion, this whole situation isn't too bad, and I think the reason for that is because I've switched a lot now from multiplayer to zombies, and in zombies it's not too affected, really. I mean, in zombies you can use COD points to get liquid divinium, which can then be used for gobblegums, but in my opinion that's not as severe as the supply drop situation. Plus, I know that people might have an issue with it, but it's not as game-breaking as weapons that could be overpowered. that you can only get by paying a lot of money for. And I can see why people do have a problem with it though. It's not a big deal to me, but I know it's a big deal for a lot of people who play multiplayer more than zombies, like a lot more, or maybe don't play zombies at all. It is a very big issue because they'll be encountering these MP40s like a lot of times, or these other guns. I'm using the MP40 as an example here because, well, it's a very good gun. I love it. I just don't have it, unfortunately, because I don't really play multiplayer too much. But in my opinion, it's not a big of a deal, but I can absolutely see why people have a problem with it, and I completely agree that supply drops are an issue, and that they should be changed in some way, because, well, it is a very stupid situation that Activision have put themselves into. But in my opinion, it's very difficult to do anything about this because people are still going to buy supply drops. Of course, these supply drop opening videos on YouTube are getting tons of views. It's making the YouTubers a lot of money. And just in case you guys just don't know, I've never opened a supply. I've opened a supply drop. I've never bought COD points, and so I've never bought supply drops with real money. The only thing I've paid for in the game is the season pass because I am going to get all the DLC and do videos on the future maps. But that's my opinion on the situation. Also, just as a heads up to any Treyarch CEOs that are, of course, spying on my videos of all peoples, the dab and the nay-nay. I don't need to say anything more about that. Just why? Look, I wish I could show you guys a reaction, but me and my friends, we saw the nay-nay for the first time online, and it was pretty much 3 balls of cringe for the next 20 minutes. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was a lot more controversial or critical than most of my videos usually are. Tomorrow we'll be starting the Der Eisendrache both tutorials. Just a thing real quick, is it just me, or is saying Der Eisendrache some sort of contest as to who can make the loudest noise? It's Der Eisendrache. Everyone has to do that, I don't know. Tomorrow we'll be moving on to the Der Eisendrache both tutorials. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, remember to smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more gaming content. Remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Links in the description below, and I'll see you guys in another video. So until then, ciao.